What's up, guys? Welcome back to Unravel Studios. This is me, your host, Pierre. Today we are at the Osimpam Heritage Center. As Aboakyer is fast approaching, we are here to talk to the manager here and find out what the activities are for this year's Aboakyer 2024. Let's go talk to him. Wait. Before we go, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe.
Good afternoon, everyone. You are welcome to Osimpam Heritage Center. Today, I'm going to take you through the history of the Aboakyer Festival. So before we consider the Aboakyer Festival, let's look at a bit history about their migration, and let's understand certain terms. The Futus are Guans who are from the Sogai Empire. The Sogai Empire is made up of, in those days, a combination of southern Mauritania and Mali. So they arrived at Penche in the early part of the 12th century. They were led by Osimpam. In fact, he is the first king for the peoples of Efutu. The actual name is King Bonzi Abe the First. He ruled from 1415 to 1490s. So the name Simpa is not a royal name. It signifies Osimpam's ability in organizing and building abilities. And also the name Efutu simply means mixed up people of different ethnic groups, customs and traditions. So let's zoom our focus on Aboakyer Festival. The natives of Simpa adore and uphold their native god Penchotu for leading their ancestors from Timbuktu to their present settlement. Oral records indicate that all along this route, their leaders propitiated the deity for all forms of protection against the numerous challenges that confronted them, including diseases and hunger. At their present location, the annual rites were performed by the principal elders of Otuano, who established Simpa. Penchotu and his sons did enjoy human sacrifice, but this had to change with the dawning of civilization. Slaves were kept for these purposes, but the gruesomeness of the rituals created a social concern that led to the consultation with the god for more human alternative. The alternative leopard was found to be difficult to obtain, as the capture of a single animal resulted in the loss of many more lives than the life of a single slave. It was also noted by then that the able-bodied men among the Jetta family would have deserted town. Eventually, the deer became practicable and most acceptable substitute, probably before or during the reign of King Bonzeinam in the mid-1400s. All this while, the propitiation and the preparation of the ambrosia was the sole preserve of the principal elders of Otuano. So the capture of the live deer, like the leopard, required many more hands than the members of the royal family could find. Additional hands required were solicited from the local militia as a service to the stew. So the change in form, the involvement of the local militia, and appeasement of the god became public and statewide affair. So this marked the birth and the origin of the Aboakyer Festival. Even before the Aboakyer Festival became public and statewide affair, there existed local militia, the vanguard organization for defense of the community and communal labor. The unique character of the Aboakyer Festival can be attributed to the development of the Asafu into hierarchical institution, purposely for providing the king with live deer to propitiate Pencho to the deity of the Futu state. King Bonzi Abe II, he ruled from 1560 to 1600s. he created Asafu and named it Akonfol, which later became known as Tuafo Asafu number 1. Years later, his own son, a reformist and a successor, King Bonzi Esiedu, he ruled from 1600s to 1666. He also created Asafu and named it Dentefo Asafu number 2. He also created a new house out of the Otuano house, Piato, which served as the nucleus of the new Asafu group. He also established and appointed Tufuhinistu to serve as a liaison chief between the paramountcy and the two Asafu group. Now, within the Asafu has 3 subgroups for both the Tuafo and the Dentefo. Within the Tuafo, we have Akonfazefo, also known as Akonfor. We have Apejafo. In English, we say firefighters. And then we have Chimemfo. They are the fraud detesters. And within the Dentefo, we have Asumfo. Also known, we also call it, in English, we say servants. We have Petufo. They are from Petuano. And then they have Nchimbafo. That is those who came later. And within these subgroups, they are further divided into 3. We have the Mpeinfo, and then we have the middle people, that is Insan. In Efutu, we call it Insan. And then we have the last one, which is the Assam, that is the juniors. So during procession and expedition, the Assam lead the Asafu, then followed by the Ensign, lastly the Mpeinofo. So let's look at some differences. They have some differences. The costumes used by the two Asafu groups are distinct in color. It serves to differentiate them while giving cosmetic appeal during the celebration. So the fabrics used by the Tuafo are the white, green, blue, and violet. And the fabrics used by the Dentefo Asafu group are red, yellow, orange, pink with black. Another form of differentiation is in the musical instruments used by the two Asafu group. The Tuafo use rattle, bigo, and 3-in-1 gong. And the Dentefo use bell and 2-in-1 gong. There are 2 forms of Asafu dance. We have Akosio Dontoba, performed by the Tuafo Asafu group. According to history, during their long migration, the men, after they had this work, would drum, and Akosio Dontoba, the grandchild of Kwame Jete, would dance to entertain them, hence this name, Akosio Dontoba. The Dentefo perform Owambir. There are 2 forms of flutes. During procession and expedition, you will see the Safuhene of the Tuafo Asafu group on a wooden horse. He will sit on a wooden horse during procession and expedition. And the Safuhene of the Dentefo Asafu group, he and his group will post a crew on a wooden ship. Now let's look at the activities that occur during during the first week of May. On Monday, usually, the king and his entourage and others go around, do cleanups. They clean up the town, set up banners, and erect some signboards. Then on Tuesday, they embark on tug of war, or they do tug of war between the two Asafu group. In the olden days, it was wrestling, but because of the gruesomeness, they had to change it to tug of war. Immediately after the tug of war, the Tuafo invoke their god known as Eku. They carry that god indoors. They don't come out with that god. And similarly, the Dentefu also invoke their god known as Sekeja or Ephraim. Then on Wednesday, the Tuafo invoke a god known as Katere. Same thing applies to the Dentefu. They also invoke a god known as Kofi on that same day. Then on Thursday, the Dentefu have a god called or known as Basa Basa. They invoke and adore a god known as Basa Basa. So mostly you see those carrying it wearing red and young guys following with Asafu songs. Then on Friday, both groups invoke and adore their main gods. So from 12 to 3 p.m., the Tuafo invoke and adore a god known as Jemisi. Then from 3 to 6 o'clock, the Dentefu invoke and adore a god known as Sikamba. Then early in the morning Saturday, around 5 a.m., the Tuafo Asafu group use a rattle to assemble their people. That is the day that they will come together and go for hunting. So usually they use musical instruments to assemble their members. They all come together, they converge at one place, then they move to the hunting ground. Then the Dentefu also assemble their members using a bell. So they will ring a bell, then all the people converge at one place, they will also move. So when they are moving to their hunting grounds, in most cases, the priest prepare a concoction, which they said it protects them. So when they get to where the water is, they usually fetch some of the water and pour it on their head as a way of protecting them. Then they move to their various hunting ground. So whoever gets a successful catch, they take the animal to a place called Zion Park. So when they give the animal to the king, then he got to the servant. He performed what we call acceptance rite. The acceptance rite involves pouring out libation and then making an impression on the animal 3 times. Then after that, they carried the king from the Zion Park to the palace. But they submit the animal after the acceptance rite, after the king has performed everything. They submit the animal to the people called Achampoano. They also take the animal to the ancestral market. So on the last day, Sunday, on Sunday, they slaughter the animal. They use part of the animal to cook what we call impotroba. The impotroba is made up of corn dough and palm oil. So they cook some of the part of the animal and cut the raw meat into pieces, and then they mix it with the impotroba. Then they spread what they have cooked through abuazi, penche, and eipe. That is the way of what? Serving the smaller gods who visited the main god. Then we have last ritual. We have a last ritual. It is known as a bisetu. The bisetu is performed just to help the people of Efutu to know what will happen in the course of the year. So let me take you through the process. An earthenware pot is placed bottom side up. 2 palm fronds are folded into 2 and placed on the invented pot. The chief priest picks the tubu after offering libation and runs it around his neck 3 times and places it on the pad placed on the invented pot. A gong is sounded as the people join in chanting for the tubu to fall on a good side. A dartboard pattern are 5 lines drawn with red clay, charcoal, salt, millet, and white clay. A gong is beaten and makes incantation as the tubu runs over and falls on one of the marks, signifying what is to be expected in the course of the year. So the red clay signifies bloody conflict and disaster. The charcoal denotes abundant rain. The white clay denotes peace and prosperity. The millet signifies bumper food harvest and good fishing season when it falls on the salt. I'm going to take you through the program outline for this year's Aboakyer Festival. So on Saturday, 27th April, there will be marathon, cycle race, and prayer Aboakyer float. On Sunday, 28th April, there will be gospel night that will be held at Liberation Square. On Monday, 29th April, there will be sanitation. That one will be throughout the township, and Aboakyer Expo. On Tuesday, 30th April, there will be regatta or tug of war. That will be held at Landing Beach. On Wednesday, 1st May, there will be health walk. That is, it starts from Winneba Junction to the Palace. On Thursday, 2nd May, there will be ampe or cooking competition. On Friday, 3rd May, there will be parading of the Asafu gods. On Saturday, 4th May, there will be Aboakyer Day. That is the Deba, Chiefs and Asafu procession and Miss Aboakyer, and that will be held at Zion Park. Then lastly, on Sunday, 5th May, there will be rite of propitiation. That is the last ritual. It will be held at Ancestral Market, Food Bazaar, and Old Timers Night with UEW Band. Thank you. Meet you next time.
My name is Kupwa, and welcome to Unravel Studios. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video, and comment. Bye.
You start, yeah. Okay, 3, 2, 1.